Welcome everyone to the CCL Halftime Show. I'm Kyle Fergusson, and today I am joined by 30K's Madara, a range player. Welcome, Madara.
Hi there, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. You got to do an interview back in Season 1, but I'm excited to get you back on the interview show here. Tell us a little bit about how you got into Heroes, and how did you get picked up for Season 1?
Yeah, sure. I got into Heroes probably like 5 or 6 years ago. I was really young. I was a versus AI and quick match player. First main was Illidan, and ever since I played him, I just really loved the game. It was my first ever real MOBA, so that's really how I got into it. About the summer right before CCL started, I had really started playing ranked a decent amount, and I got myself to master by one-tricking Chromie. And I wanted to see if I could do it again without doing that, so I made a Smurf, and I somehow did it again. And at that point, a couple of players had started to notice me, I guess, and I got invited to some of the in-houses and started getting to know a lot of these better players. And I guess I just made a bit of a name for myself before Season 1.
Okay, all right. Couple of questions. The Chromie thing makes sense now. We'll talk about that in a moment. How did you go from only AI Illidan to becoming a master level Chromie and only then met people? Like how did you make that transition?
Yeah, so when I started playing HOTS, I would never play alone. I hated playing the game solo. I would just play with friends. And naturally, my friends were silver players. So, we just played quick match all the time. And eventually, I just understood what all of the characters did, I guess, and started playing alone, just, wanted to see how it would work, and I got all the way up to Diamond really fast and was surprised, so I just kept going and worked out pretty well.
That's a good sell for Chromie. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So things have changed on Chromie a little bit over the years, and Slowing Sands has come in and come out, and the time stops have changed and all that. Was this like rewind era Chromie and just getting snipes in Storm League?
Back when I used to be a real quick match player was when you used to get the W resets off of the clocks, and they were automatic as well. I just remember back then you'd go triple clock. This was the quick match meta, of course. I never even watched pro HOTS back then. I was like 15, 14. But you'd get they'd walk into a clock, you'd drop a W on them. And back then it was just the one W that hit for like 1,000 damage.
Right, yeah.
So you'd just chunk them. They'd walk into another clock, chunk them again. Oh, they were so mad.
So what was it like when they changed you? When they got the whole you got to hit walls thing?
Yeah, it became a lot harder because back then the Q used to pierce everything, right? And until it hit a hero. That's when I kind of dropped her, actually, and I started playing everything else. It was only really recently, right before CCL, that I started one-tricking her again, because I just picked her up randomly, and I figured I was winning every game with her, so I might as well just keep playing her until people started banning it out, I guess.
And that has now carried you into Season 4.
Yeah.
Was that something you kind of communicate with the team, that you just thought Chromie was going to be amazing in these past 2 weekend matches, or how did that come about?
Well, I think it actually kind of started back at the Miami LAN over around winter, because it was in the very final set versus Team Wa, and we hadn't really practiced Chromie or anything, but we'd lost the series to them, and we were trying to do whatever we really could to beat them. And I said, pick me Chromie, and it kind of farmed them, honestly. We won every game that I had it, I think.
All right.
So ever since there, we've just really liked Chromie, I guess. And it seems to start entering the meta of HOTS right now, which is pretty cool.
Well, it's fun watching you be bold, sneak around with your clocks, as you put them, but also sneaking over those walls, lining up those shots, and taking out Muradins, which is kind of impressive. In the past few weeks, you guys have fought Storm, Simplicity, Wildheart. Now you're heading towards fighting Oxygen, your old team. Yeah. Any thoughts on the teams you fought so far and looking forward?
I think that Wildheart has definitely been our strongest competition so far. The games, well, for me, it was yesterday we played, were really, really intense. I thought we had an actual pretty good chance of losing them, but especially with all those pauses that were going on, definitely really frustrating games for both sides. I just hope something like that doesn't happen for the match against Oxygen. Hope it's a lot more clean and a lot more fun.
Absolutely. Introduce us to the team a little bit, because there was a full restructure of 30K, and you moved over from Oxygen Esports. Did Liam reach out to you and kind of build his own team? How did this come about?
It was actually more so that it really started me and Legacy. Legacy really wanted to play with me, and I really wanted to play with him. So we started reaching out to people. We needed a DPS, a tank, and an offlane at that point. I knew Cattle was on the fence about playing, and so kind of was Kira until he heard about the LAN. Then he was full on board to play. So we got them as kind of a package deal. So now we're a pretty strong 4-man, and we just need an offlaner. And Liam at the time, because we didn't all really know about everyone getting dropped and being able to form your own teams. So I thought at the start 30K was gonna stay as it was. I mean, they won last season, it makes sense.
Sure.
But then with the announcement that you can make your own teams, things kind of, people went their own ways on 30K. So we ended up having Liam all to ourselves, which is really nice.
Kind of a perfect situation, looking for an offlaner like that and a team to play on. Well done. We got to hear your comms a little bit on the bosses and Cursed Hollow this past weekend. But of course, those are rather hectic scenarios where y'all were yelling, no, let them come in here. What are comms usually like, and who's kind of taking on which roles?
Comms are normally pretty chaotic on our team, actually. Kira normally leads. He's the shot caller mainly. Designates our plans and what we want to be doing. Liam's really, really good at the macro shot calling, where people are going, when he has prio, if he's going to be there before the other offlaner. Cattle's, as the tank, normally calls the main engages. Legacy's doing what a support should, saying that he can save us from inting. And then I think I probably have the best comms of the team. Normally the more important stuff, I'm dying, I'm going over their wall, and I'm dead, are my favorites to say.
Well, that makes sense as the Hanzo, Chromie, Sylvanas kind of thing. You got someone in your face the party needs to know about. It's easy to forget about you back there.
Of course.
With the long range and all that. Well, as we end the interview here, any shout outs you'd like to make?
Yeah, for sure. Huge shout outs to the team. It's been really, really fun playing with you guys. Huge shout outs to 30K, all our staff. You guys are amazing. Really big shout out to Wildheart, who we just played. Again, it was yesterday, so it's still fresh in my mind. They gave us all their pause time, which was really needed for Liam to try to figure out his internet connection. So just amazing sportsmanship by them. And a huge shout out to Oxygen, who we're probably about to face in 10 minutes from this interview. So hope it's some good games.
Awesome. Everyone, stay tuned for those upcoming games.